in about 2 seconds. Okay.
Good to go. Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to call the committee meeting for finance to order. Is there any pecuniary interest?
None known for.
I have none. We have a delegation today. Are we going to have Shelley as a delegation?
Yeah, but we'll
Or
just
we
do it
come to
under the
that
new
under
business. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Prior meetings minutes were approved at the last council meeting. And our ongoing tasks from
Sure, if there's anything there for,
The STVR bylaw.
yeah, that's when I will follow up with Jared on that. It hasn't been talked about much.
Transit.
what about the fire grant?
We haven't heard anything back yet.
Yeah, I just assumed it was on the list, so I
Yeah.
thought it would be worth mentioning. And inquiring about a sign on the 402.
On the sign, Paul, when, you know, the one that when you come off the bridge, it used to say Village of Prince Edward?
Yep.
Did it always have a City of Sarnia sign below it?
As long as I can remember.
Okay, I just noticed the other day, I thought, is that new? But
Yeah, they're on the same two posts.
yeah,
Stacked on top of each
okay,
other.
that's been for a while.
And it'll say Village of Point Edward, just,
Yep.
you know, one of those highway
Yeah,
signs,
yeah.
so you know that you're entering
Yeah.
a new municipality.
Yeah, I didn't know, I don't ever remember the Sarnia one. But it's
Yeah, it's been there a long
Okay,
time.
perfect.
So nothing pressing with those.
No.
So we can move down to council correspondence, nothing, health and safety, I didn't see any.
Yeah, inspections weren't done for the month of March.
Okay.
There was a bit of a mix up in changing over to mesh, so there were no inspections completed in March.
Okay.
Will be done this month.
Right.
I should say the supervisor ones were done. At least Jay made that point when he, in his meeting, that he did his inspection, so I would think they were done, but the joint health and safety ones were not.
Okay. So we can move down to new business. We have one item on there. Proposal to update special events.
Just open up the report here.
Sure.
So this report, I think, was prepared more just an idea that has come forward about canceling the Christmas in the Village. That event's been going on for about 13 years or so, 12. And so the discussion about canceling that event potentially and putting the resources that go into that event into our Canada Day event. So there is a recommendation there that we do that, and kind of more to just generate some discussion and see what committee's thoughts are on that. And I mean, we kind of assume that it's one of those ones. It is a bit of a big deal. They're kind of events, so we'd want to do it, have the discussion at council as well, but kind of start it here.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, do you have comments on that?
Yeah, Jim and I were talking about it before the meeting. I don't support canceling Christmas in the Village. I think if anything, I prefer to make it bigger and better. I think our Canada Day one is overshadowed by the Sarnia Canada Day a little bit. And we don't seem to have problems getting people to our waterfront park in the summer. So, but we have problems getting people in here in the winter. So I don't know. I think it's too much of a cancel one and double the other. So I think we need to discuss it a lot more. And I think we defer it to council, I think, so we can have a full discussion. But
Sure.
As it sits right now and as presented, I don't support just outright canceling it, doubling the budget for Canada.
Okay. I know I read through it and I appreciate the history of it, where it was initially proposed to have more support from our local businesses. And I know that we haven't had that support recently, so I can see that. I know as a parent of small children, when they were growing up here, one of the big events, at one point I had a 4, a 2, and a 1-year-old, and we were going to Christmas in the Village to do all the cool stuff. So it did have a good, feeling from everybody that I've ever talked to about it. my thing is though, I think if we did say that maybe we were gonna pull back a bit, it would be interesting to see if the community rallied and offered some support.
Mhm.
Because all the cul-de-sac lighting, that's been beautiful. That was a community driven event, and I thought that was really cool. So if a bunch of people said, oh, no, not Christmas in the village, maybe we would get some more support. You know, don't take that away from us. That's how I feel on it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think looking at restructuring the committee or finding new ways is a better way to save it rather than just cancel it outright. I think also too, Christmas in the Village is more with locals, where the Canada Day, as I said to Jim, you're hard pressed to find somebody you know amongst the crowd, because we attract a lot of people from elsewhere for free pizza and that. So, where the Christmas in the Village feels more like a hometown event where our people are. So anyways,
Would you like to add anything to that while you're sitting here?
I would just like to say, I do agree with the deputy mayor. I'd love to make it bigger and better. And I think this is where maybe when council discusses it, you can discuss more of the funding. Because the reality is, funding doesn't go as far as it used to. And the amount of funds that have been allocated to two different events, they're large sums of money, but it hasn't changed in the 12 years for the Christmas in the Village. So to do anything bigger and better, we're gonna have to put more money into it, because we do use every penny that is allocated for that fund. So that's something to consider when council talks about it. It would be great to make it bigger and better, but I do think we have to have the support of the businesses and more input.
and I agree. I just think that bigger and better doesn't always have to mean more money, right? Just new ideas, new things that could be done that don't always generate, they cost a lot of money is where I come from, as far as what can we do that even just, yeah, finding partners that will help facilitate events or whatever. But I think it calls for a bigger discussion. So either a council or we create, a committee with some council members on it to try and help facilitate. Because now's the time to plan, right? So.
Okay, so do we need to refer this to council?
Defer.
Motion for that?
Or yeah, refer it to council.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it would be nice to have everybody's input on that.
Mhm. Yeah, especially with the mayor away, I know she has opinions on both, and it'd be nice to hear her thoughts on both events and what the future holds. So.
Well, and again, our other counselors as well have younger family members that might be very excited to come for a Christmas event still too, so. You might have a little more of a connection to the youth in the village.
But I do hear what you're saying, the struggle with finding the people to be at the front line to help. Everyone has good intentions, but it is a struggle. Yeah. Jim and I have had big discussions about, the music in the park type of thing for this summer. And I said, I'm not adverse personally to hiring people to help. So say you spend $5,000 on a person or persons to help. And then then you have a successful event. But if you rely on you to do everything and a couple of volunteers, that's when things fall through the cracks and people get frustrated with an event. So there's companies out there that will help arrange things. So we still own it. It's still our event, but you put some money out to bring someone who's gonna. It's sad that society today, you have to pay people to volunteer, but it is a reality that people's time they want. So that's another option that could be explored down the road.
I think one of the changes too over the years is originally when this idea was brought forth by the business community. A good number of those people are gone now. Those businesses don't exist anymore. Right? So a lot of these new businesses, they're not even aware of what the purpose of it was, why it was brought forward, and the whole evolution of it. That's what it is to me.
Okay. We'll discuss that at the next council meeting. Or the one at the end of the month, I should say.
Yeah,
Not the next one.
yeah, not tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna change the recommendation that this matter be referred to the,
Just click the referral button.
okay, and it moved everything over. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Okay, is there any other new business?
Nope, I have none.
Me either. Let's move down to reviewing financial statements.
Do we want to ask the question? Ask the-
Sure, yeah. Greg was wondering about wages, how wages, why are there no wages allocated for the period? So it's not just an automatic, like when the checks, you have to do a journal entry or what, I think that's, so just one of the ones that's,
Yeah, and with the meeting so early in the month, by the time you get before your council meeting, it's something in there.
Okay, so when we go to approve these at the council, do you reattach them?
no, it's an updated statement at that time, right? Like she,
But do we see it in the agenda?
Yep.
Okay,
yeah, the financial state, like, so,
You're not
You-
approving these are just more for discussion.
yeah,
But you're approving your council.
so the statement you get at the council meeting is a consolidated statement where this,
right,
so is the one at finance, it's consolidated as well.
Yeah.
But at council, it's, it's not broken down by operations, fire, it's one full
One,
statement.
yeah.
And,
and the question I asked is, we're bringing it forward to committee. There's a lot of zeros, should we even be bothering to like? It's hard for us to discuss it when,
I think it's still like, you've got your year-to-date information is all in
Yeah, I
there, like, I
guess.
think probably the month, the current period stuff maybe isn't all
Yeah.
that the period to date.
If I'm working on invoices now, you're gonna get a lot more from March.
Yeah,
By
yeah,
the end of the month.
yeah.
We gotta stack it just on invoices, the phone and the other.
Yeah.
days,
I'm just saying, should we just bring it forward to the council meeting?
Yeah,
Then we have a full report and then we discuss it,
but even that is not always the case, like,
but it's
for
farther
instance, the
along.
water, right?
Yeah.
You get your water statement shows generally now no revenue for the month.
Right,
So you're getting a statement on the 23rd of April, you get a statement that shows no revenue for the month of March.
yeah,
Because we don't get the revenue from that month until a couple weeks later.
and
So-
water's the exception.
It
I'm
is,
just saying.
yeah, but there's
Oh, no, it's not taxing thing and.
a
Yeah,
number.
There's a lot of variables.
Okay,
It's, I mean, if council decides that this is not of great value to them, I mean, we don't.
I mean, the managers ask periodic throughout the month for updated ones anyway, so. I don't think
Takes-
they really take
Yeah,
good care of us.
it's maybe 10 minutes for Tina to prepare these statements for me.
mhm.
Is that fair or is it a bit lower, bit more than that?
Because they are separated.
Yeah, so it's not a huge time commitment on her part, and then it takes me, 10 or 15 minutes to load them into the agenda. It's not,
Mhm.
to me, I think there's valuable information there because you're getting your year to date.
Right,
Um,
so we focus on that
yeah.
versus the current period.
yeah,
That's fine.
I definitely understand where you're coming from on the current
And then you
period
can
stuff.
see
being-
from the first part of the month, to when you actually get them for the difference, right?
Yeah,
So that if there's any other, most of your questions will probably be answered by then.
yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks.
We just receive and file our financial statements.
Yep.
Okay. And that is it.
Next meeting is May 14th.
All right, call for adjournment.
So called.